How to find your creative identity. This is episode 5 of Illustrator Diaries. I'm your host, Eli Maxon. And today I really want to cover the topic of this matter because, especially in the era of social media, it could be difficult for us to know, okay, like, how do I share my authentic self? How do I not seem like a copycat? Where do I pull from? Like, these are very important topics, right? So we're going to be talking about that today. And I find that the appropriate reference to use is 320. It's actually a group that I came across fairly recently. I don't know too much about them, so I can't really go over on like crazy on details. If I happen to do another picture, I will. But the main thing I do happen to know is they're a married couple. I would say a Christian neo soul slash R&B duo, and they make really good music. Very transparent lyrics. The lead vocalist, she happens to express moments in her life and navigating through faith and quoting scripture. So it's not one of those let me throw my faith on you, but like let me share the journey of my faith with you. And that's the reason as to why I found this reference to be appropriate to the topic at hand, because when it comes to sharing your art, it could be difficult if you happen to try to, copy and paste or imitate. Imitate is actually the perfect word. Imitate other creatives. Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon is one of my favorite pieces of literature in the art space. It's a book that I happened to get after I got I first read Still Like an Artist my freshman year of college. In my graphic design class, we were assigned to read it, and it pretty much just talked about the premise of being an amazing artist isn't you pulling from one source, it's from you pulling from multiple sources. And Show Your Work, which is the follow-up book that I got, we didn't need to get this book. It was just, I so happened to like that book so much that I was like, yo, let me get some more of his stuff. So Show Your Work goes more into detail on how to put your work out there and stuff. And I pull a couple pointers from that book as far as applying it to the craft. It brings up how you pulling from genuine places that you have an interest in will help to nurture yourself as an artist. Like, how can I say this? All right, I like Christian music. I like good Christian music. I happen to be drawing a Christian music group that I feel is amazing. And I don't know if they would describe themselves as a Christian music group or if they would describe themselves as Christians who happen to make good music. So I don't want to label them if, ultimately they're people of faith, right, that happen to make good music. But I find it a moral obligation for myself to share good Christian music because there's not really a lot of places and spaces that are doing so in a unique way. Like I may do with, drawing out artists that I happen to come across and I like their music, right? And the goal for this sub-segment is to help shed light on that, because there may be somebody who comes across my channel that's like, yo, I never even knew Christians, made music, or there was a Christian like subgenre or Christian hip hop or any of that, right? So I'm just doing my due diligence. And pay it forward is the first thing I'm going to talk about. Pay it forward with your craft. Know that your craft is given by God. Know that He wants you to honor Him with it. And ultimately, we're called to serve. Christ served. So that extension and that fruit should show in our own lives. So yeah, you got to pull from, what genuinely inspires you, what, keeps you up at night. And there's going to be an audience for that. It may not be 100 people. It may not be 1,000. It may just be 5. You need to be content with the 5. Because God made each and every last one of you. So even too, when I was younger, I used to do sneaker YouTube channels. I used to do sneaker YouTube videos. If you can find the channel, good for you. But me and a friend of mine, we used to do videos around sneakers that we happened to pick up and stuff like that in high school. We also went to like different sneaker stores and pop-ups and stuff, and would talk to people in the local Charlotte area that were within the culture at the time. And it was a pretty dope experience. I share that to say I also shared that in this channel. And I've been into sneakers since I was like in the fourth or fifth grade. I didn't really start buying shoes until I was in middle school because I didn't really have money. And like the only way I was getting, a pair of KDs was if I was selling candy. And I would do that through, just church and through school, which technically isn't legal. So yeah, that was a interesting experience. And yeah, those are just a couple things that helped to, I guess you would say, get me rolling as far as sharing my creative identity. Of course, I'm a man of faith, so this isn't something I've added on the channel yet, but one thing I do want to include is videos where you see the reference is something that I'm pulling from scripture. Like it may be a landmark, it may be a signet or items around, Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic culture, like stuff that surrounded that particular time or century, because I want to help, I guess you would say, bridge the gap as far as like people understanding biblical context a little better. It's something I'm still learning to get a little better. I'm actually trying to read through the entirety of the scriptures. And I'm still in the Old Testament now, but yeah, like I'm a Bible nerd too. So there's that. But yeah, those are just a couple things that I feel may help to, ignite that spark for you. Like you may have an interest in cars. You may have an interest in, something like me, like sneakers. But you need to, truly acknowledge those things. And I know I said I wasn't going to do assignments. I guess I'll do them every now and again. But I'm not really going to label it assignments because I don't want to do assignments. But one thing I do want you to consider from this video is you may need to take time and just get a pad and pen and list down everything that you genuinely find interest in. Like, what is it that you do on your day-to-day? What is it that you happen to watch? What is it that you can pull from those, areas and spaces that you can then make art around and go from there? And set a regimen, like once a week. Is it realistic to you managing putting out the work? And I didn't feel like drawing this picture the other day. It was actually before I went to bed that I took the time to make this. Sometimes it's going to be inconvenient, but the goal is going to keep you driven. So, yeah, that's really all I got. Hope you all have a blessed one. I'm Eli Max, and I'm out.